environment worldwide. Currently, the prevalence of myopia affects approximately 30% of the world's population. So it has been estimated to significantly increase to affect around 50% of the world's population by 2050, and 10% of these patients will be high myopes, no? So ayaw natin for them to progress to high myopia. Because the higher the degree of the myopia, there's also higher risk of potentially blinding ocular pathology such as your myopic macular degeneration, retinal detachment, cataract formation, glaucoma. So making this a significant public health concern. So aside from the ocular-related morbidity, there's also an increase in healthcare costs associated with myopia. No? So this includes all the myopia control options as well as the myopia corrections such as glasses or refractive surgery. So as such, your myopia is no longer considered just a refractive error requiring vision correction, but a disease process creating a significant risk of serious vision-threatening eye disease. So myopia management entails prevention of high myopia by myopia control during childhood and treatment of the complications of your pathologic myopia. And furthermore, identifying patients who are pre-myopic and managing them as early as possible has been already been started in countries where there's high risk of myopia, such as in Singapore, China, and Hong Kong. So even pre-myopic, we already treat them. So why do we need to intervene early in childhood? No? So this is a predicted progression model in an Asian child with -1 diopter of myopia with onset at various ages. So as you can see, if the patient develops myopia at 7 years old, it's there's a higher chance for that patient to develop high myopia as compared to a patient who is 11 years old who will have the onset of myopia at that age. No? So in myopia control, we try to slow down the myopia progression until the child reaches the point where the axial line actually stabilizes. So in doing so, we prevent them from reaching high myopia. So in the past, ophthalmologists and optometrists tried numerous methods to slow down myopia progression, so all yielding zero to clinically non-significant effects. So among these are your undercorrection, pinhole glasses, yung blue light blocking glasses, bifocal glasses, and progressive spectacles. No? Also your daytime single vision soft contact lens or your rigid glass permeable contact lens. No? So we sometimes get patients in the sa myopia center where I train thinking that they are on myopia control glasses, but actually they're just wearing your bifocals or your progressive lenses. Because even in countries where myopia control is very like rampant, no, some optometrists still parang they still prescribe bifocals or progressives. Kasi iba pa rin yung optom side versus ophthalmology side. No? So I remember I attended an international meeting last year. They invited some Filipino optometrists to talk about myopia management, and then they were discussing about bifocals and progressive. And then we know na hindi siya talaga nag-work. So I think the Philippines medyo way behind when it comes to myopia control. So it's very important to be aware na we have options to give to parents if they want to control the myopia para sa child nila. Okay? So based on the numerous studies, what appears to work, no? So we have basically three. No? You have your behavioral environmental interventions, your pharmacological treatment, optical treatment, and later I briefly discuss about your red light therapy. No? So we go to each interventions. No? First is your behavioral and environmental intervention. So this is very simple. So increased time outdoors has been shown by studies to have a protective effect in preventing myopia progression. So the proposed mechanism is that the increased light intensity stimulates your retinal dopamine, which plays a key role in inhibiting axial elongation. No? So outdoors with illuminance of more than 1,000 lux has been shown to be productive versus indoor lighting, and more light equals more dopamine and slower myopia onset or progression. Also, your outdoor activities often involve looking at distant objects, so which means break from near work, which is also another risk factor for myopia. So interventional randomized control trial showed reduction in myopia by incorporating 40 to 80 minutes of interrupted time outdoors, and meta-analysis and systematic review showed that 2 hours of daylight exposure appears to mitigate both onset and myopia progression. So this is a bit tricky, especially in tropical countries like sa atin, di ba? Because of the weather. So parang sabihan, oh yeah, go out, parang madali lang. Pero actually, it's very difficult, no? So we can still tell them na they can try to go outside. It could be interrupted. It doesn't have to be 2 hours continuous. They can be under a tree, under a shade. They can wear glasses. They can wear yung mga transition glasses. They can wear a hat, mga ganun. Para lang ma-encourage sila to play outside. Next is reduced time on near tasks. So a meta-analysis found that children who engage in more near activities such as studying, reading, watching TV or computers, smartphones, and digital devices have an 80% higher risk of developing myopia compared to those who do less near work. So longer time periods, so more than 30 minutes, and close reading distance, which is less than 30 centimeters, were significantly associated with more myopia. So we always get asked by parents whether mobile phones or devices are bad for the child. So we tell them it's more of the act of near viewing itself, not the devices per se, that's causing the myopic shift. So sometimes we have patient na avid readers, like paggabi daw, magbabasa pa rin yung child. So parang medyo pangit pakinggan pag sasabi namin na, oh, kailangan po niya bawasan yung reading niya. O bawasan yung reading, maybe try nila audiobooks, mga ganyan, para lang mabawasan yung reading, yung extra near work. So additionally, after the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen an increase in myopia in primary school children in Singapore. So likely due to increased time spent on digital screens and less time outdoors. So the recommendation is to take breaks to interrupt near work activities lasting more than 30 minutes. So we tell the kids, oh, you have to take breaks every 30 minutes. You can go toilet break, water break, or you can just go like look outside the window at least 20 seconds to relax the eyes. So ganun. So next is your pharmacological treatment. So maybe yung residents have heard about the atropine, no? So your atropine is a non-selective muscarinic receptor blocker. The exact mechanism for myopia control is still unknown. Before they thought it was due to your paralyzing the accommodation, but multiple animal studies actually disprove that, no? So now their thinking is that it's more of a non-accommodative mechanism. So the retinal pathway is affecting the sclera. So you have different doses of your atropine. The higher the dose, so from 0.01 to 1%. So the higher the dose, the higher the effectivity of the eye drops. But with the higher dose, there's also more side effects. So this would include problems with near blur. So syempre, ayaw naman natin hindi sila makabasa for near. Kasi napaparalyze yung accommodation, as well as glare or photophobia. No? So if they develop these symptoms, we can advise them to wear progressive lenses or transition lenses, yung photochromatic lenses. No? So we have different doses. Yung 0.01 to 0.05 is considered your low dose atropine. Moderate dose is yung 0.125 and high dose yung 1%. Okay, so for younger kids, for example, less than 9 years old, we usually still give them the low dose atropine, but on the higher side, so pwedeng 0.025 or 0.05. Pero kapag older kids, pwede na 0.01 kasi mas stable naman na sila. Okay, so I'll go through different studies with you, yung mga common landmark studies, because sometimes they ask this PREX. So first is your ATOM-1 study. So this is your atropine for treatment of childhood myopia done in Singapore. So I think this is the first big study on myopia. So in this 2-year study, they randomized the kids to placebo versus atropine 1%. No? So yung placebo and atropine, they just put it on one eye. So as you can see, kaya siya 4 arms. No? On the atropine-treated eyes, you can see there's a list. It has the least change from baseline. No? Here. Baseline axial length as well as spherical equivalent. No? Hence, they concluded that topical atropine was effective in slowing myopia progression in Asian children. Your ATOM-2 studied the low dose concentrations, no? 0.01, 0.1, 0.5%. No? So it is divided into 3 phases. So the first 2 years, the kids were randomized into receiving the atropine drops. And then after that, they discontinued for 1 year. And then after that, they assess the patients kung sino yung nag-progress. Ibig sabihin, like, yung myopia increased, no, after the next 2 years. And then they were restarted on 0.01% eye drops. So for the phase 1, they found out a concentration-dependent response. So the higher the concentration, mas better yung control ng myopia. No? So as you can see, yung dark, yung shaded na circle, na diamond is the 0.5%. So slightly better siya as compared sa 0.1 and the 0.01%. But during the washout period, as you can see in this part, ito yung washout period niya. As you can see, parang nag-reverse, no? So in patients taking higher concentration of atropine, mas malakas yung rebound nila in myopia. So that's why we don't abruptly stop atropine eye drops in kids. We always taper it, and we taper it as long as they're stable. Okay? So with the ATOM-2, we learned, number 1, we cannot just stop the eye drops because there's a chance for the kids to rebound, especially if they're in the higher concentration of the eye drops. And number 2, we learned that in older kids, so this is the percentage of children who progressed, no, So the older the kids, no, the older kids, less likely sila mag-progress as compared sa mga younger kids. So we cannot stop eye drops, atropine eye drops sa younger kids. So 8 to 10 years old, we cannot stop. Tuloy-tuloy lang. Okay? Until mag-stabilize sila. And then the LAMP study is the one in Hong Kong, no? So I'm not sure if some of you attended yung APAO sa Hong Kong this year. So yung Congress President was actually yung author ng LAMP study, si Jason Yam, no? So the LAMP study compared the different low-dose atropine eye drops to placebo. So yung Atom 2, I'm not sure if you noticed, wala siyang placebo, no? They only compared it to yung different concentration, walang placebo. Yung placebo nila is binis nila sa Atom 1. So yung LAMP, meron silang placebo. So parang mas slightly better siya na study. So here they found of the three concentrations used, yung 0.05% was the most effective in controlling yung spherical equivalent progression and axial elongation, no? So that's why in Hong Kong, yung preferred nila na eye drops is 0.05 as compared sa Singapore, it's 0.01 and 0.025. So they also have the LAMP2 study. Yung LAMP2 naman, started yung atropine drops to children who doesn't have myopia. So mga may pre-myopic children. So tiningnan nila if we start them on atropine eye drops, ilan yung magpro-progress to myopia, ilan yung hindi. So they found out around 50% of kids started on the 0.05% is less likely mag-progress. No? As you can see, yung placebo, 53% nag-progress, pero 28% lang ng kids on 0.05 yung nag-progress to myopia. So this is also one of the, I think, first few then on treating pre-myopic children with atropine eye drops. So the atropine has side effects. So as I told you a while ago, so there could be have photophobia, blurred vision, loss of accommodation. No? So with the low dose atropine drops, actually less than 10% of kids will have these side effects. It's very rare, 0.01, 0.025, very rare magka side effects. If they do have side effects, usually the kids can cope or parang they can tolerate some of the photophobia, parang okay lang sa kanila. But if they develop the symptoms, and then we can always just tell them, oh, if you want, you can try transition glasses or yung progressive lenses. Then the parents will always ask, is there any long-term side effect with the drops? Kasi nga, like, more than 2 years sila naka-eye drops. Meron bang long-term side effect? So Singapore published the atropine treatment long-term assessment study or the ATLAS study. So here they followed up patients from Atom 1 and Atom 2, and they found out no significant complications after long-term atropine eye drops. But they also published a negligible difference in refraction and axial length, even giving them atropine eye drops. So some were a bit hesitant with giving eye drops kasi with this study, sinabi nila na negligible difference if you start them on the atropine. But we know from Atom 1 and Atom 2, they abruptly stopped the eye drops. Hindi sila nag-taper. Kaya nag-rebound yung mga kids. So kaya wala talagang negligible difference. No? So this rebound effect may have been caused by since yung patients nga abruptly stop the eye drops without tapering. So as you can see here, so ito yung washout period, nakita nyo talaga nag-reverse siya from good control. So yung triangle na shaded part, so this is yung patients na atropine 1%. After abruptly discontinuing the drops, biglang nag-rebound increase siya na almost ka-level niya yung placebo. No? Placebo yung unshaded na triangle. No? So as I told you a while ago, the higher the concentration of the drops, the higher the chance for it to higher rebound effect. No? So aside from the rebound effect, we also tell the parents that the treatment is not set in stone. So if you start them with the 0.01%, it doesn't mean 0.01 na siya until mag-stabilize. No? Because sometimes as the child grows, pwede natin increase yung concentration, or pwede natin increase yung frequency ng drops. We can put it twice per day. No? So we can go from 0.01, you can go to 0.025, and then if nagpo-progress pa din, we can try 0.05. Yeah. So in our clinics, children less than 9 years old, we usually start them on slightly higher concentration, na 0.025, because we know in kids, mas mabilis yung axial elongation nila as compared to older kids. No? So the advantages of the atropine eye drops, no, it's non-invasive. We usually start them on 1 drop per night on both eyes. This works regardless of the optical correction as long as there's no side effects. So you can use this with single vision glasses. You can always use it with combination with your myopic control glasses and contact lenses and ortho-K. So it's way cheaper as compared to the other options I will tell you about later. So disadvantages, it has some side effects, no? And then it's not FDA approved in many countries. So it often requires off-label compounding, raising consistency concerns. But I heard from Santen, I think end of the year po yata, they papasak na nila yung 0.025 nila na eye drops. Yeah. So no need to compound na. And then atropine drops has rebound effect, and then they need to put the eye drops for at least 2 years, no? So this also, especially for younger kids, na usually parents yung magpapatak ng eye drops. And then kapag medyo matanda na sila, binibigay na nila na yung child na yung nagpapatak. So sometimes if yung child na yung responsible for putting the eye drops, napapansin namin, minsan nagpo-progress sila kasi hindi na nila napapatak. Yeah, so kailangan nasa-supervise pa rin sila. Okay, so that's for atropine. Now we go to the different optical treatments. So we have your myopia control glasses, contact lenses, and your ortho-K. So for the optical treatment, first is your myopia control glasses. So your conventional single vision glasses increases the peripheral hyperopic defocus, no? Kasi isa lang yung plane niya, no? So this hyperopic defocus or blur, especially in the peripheral retina, has been shown to stimulate axial elongation in animal and human studies, no? So your myopia control glasses, well, the myopia control contact lenses are specially designed lenses, not just to correct the refractive error, but to slow down the progression of axial elongation by causing this myopic defocus, no? So yung area here, the focus is in front of the retina. Now, as compared to your single vision glasses, your focus is behind the retina, no? Okay, so we go over the different myopia control glasses, no? So these glasses have the same efficacy, around 50 to 60% effective in controlling myopia. And they only differ on the technology, you know. So for the peripheral retinal defocus, the first one is your DIMS, or your defocus incorporated multiple segments. So this is also available in the Philippines. So this is the oldest in the market, around 6 to 7 years na siya. So this is a dual focus lens with a central optical zone. So I'm not sure if you can see, medyo malabo yung photo. But in the center here, may parang clear na area, no? So yun yung central optical zone. And then on the periphery, you can see this parang, we call it a honeycomb pattern. Hindi siya ganun ka-clear sa... Yeah. Pero kita nyo, no? Parang may honeycomb pattern. So yung honeycomb pattern is plus 350 defocus power. So yun yung nagkakos ng myopia control, no? So the honeycomb pattern, actually, you can see it sa normal glasses. You need to shine a light on the glasses para mag-reflect siya, para makita. So sometimes may patients kami, akala nila naka-dim sila. Kasi pag tinignan mo, mayroon agad siyang honeycomb. Pero yun, parang ginagaya lang siya ng other competitors. Parang coating lang siya. Pero wala talaga siyang myopia control. So kailangan, very important na ma-identify nyo if it's an actual myopia control glasses or not. Kasi maraming mga fake na myopia control glasses kasi medyo pricey siya. So among all the myopia control glasses, your DIMS is the most established. It has a 6-year study. So this look at the change in the spherical equivalent. So focusing on the blue line. So blue line yung DIMS for 6 years, no? They notice a change, better control in axial and spherical equivalent with DIMS compared to your single vision glasses. Next is your highly spherical lens that target or your halt from your SLR. So they just recently launched their product here, I think last February po or May or March. So they have yung halt na. So available na din sa Philippines yung SLR na Stellest. So this lens, like your DIMS, has a central optical zone, as you can see here. Pero yung design niya is concentric rings, no? Yung, again, hindi siya obvious if you look at the glasses. So you need to shine a light para makita nyo yung ganitong configuration, no? Okay, so this is the 2-year study ng Stellest, no? Showed myopia progression, it slowed down myopia progression and axial elongation versus your single vision glasses, around 60% effective. Next is your yun yung peripheral retinal defocus. This is your contrast management. So actually don't have any experience with the contrast management glasses kasi hindi siya available sa Singapore. I think available siya sa US. So the contrast hypothesis is that it states that the high retinal contrast, whether from genetic predisposition or yung mga visual environment, may overstimulate the retina, promoting excessive eye growth and myopia, no? So clinical observations show that high contrast visual environment, so such as reading dark text over a white background or digital devices, are associated with progressive myopia and spending more time outdoors, which is less contrast, is protective for myopia onset and possibly progression. So with the contrast management, yung glasses nila is yung dot or yung diffusion optics technology. So just show you the Cypress study which showed efficacy of the dot glasses. So this is just a summary of the different glasses. So I just also included the MyoCare glasses. MyoCare is from Zeiss naman. So yung MyoCare kasi kakapublish lang nila nung 2-year results nila. Tapos, yeah, so kaya wala pa siya dun sa consensus sa WSPOS. They just published yung 2 years result nila last June and yung WSPOS na consensus was May 2025. Kaya hindi siya nakasama. There's also, I think they just also published a parang head-to-head na study on DIMS, Stellest, and MyoCare. And DIMS and Stellest actually comparable. Lesser yung effect ng MyoCare as compared sa DIMS and the Stellest. So some institution would offer MyoCare as second line. First line nila yung DIMS or yung Stellest. Okay. So advantages of your glasses, no? So it's easy, it's just like wearing a normal pair of glasses. The child doesn't really notice the defocus areas. So if ever ma-notice nila yung defocus areas, usually sa DIMS siya. Kasi 350 talaga yun eh. Yung halt kasi parang nag-increase siya slowly from central pa peripheral. So mas hindi nila na-notice yung defocus. Pero kahit yung patients on DIMS, if they notice the defocus, usually around 1 week, they can adapt to it na. So this is a good option for children who cannot tolerate drops or contact lenses. So may kids talaga na, I think siguro sa PEDS clinic na pag nakikita nyo, ayaw talaga nila pinapatakan ng eye drops. So may mga ganun, very squeamish, ayaw nila ng drops. No? So this is a good option for them. Kasi suot lang nila yung glasses, yun na yung myopia control. Correction na siya for myopia as well as nagko-control siya ng progression. So disadvantages include your myopia control glasses are compliance dependent. So they need to wear the glasses more than 12 hours per day. So in children na anisometropic, kunyari plano, tapos -1, sometimes hindi nila na-notice yung -1 pag walang glasses kasi malinaw yung other eye. So baka ayaw nila ng ganito. In patients na siguro first time wearers kasi hindi pa sila, lalo na pag younger kids, hindi kasi sila marunong mag-alaga pa ng glasses. So medyo expensive kasi siya. I think around 17 to 20,000 just for the glasses. So if like 7 years old, 6 years old, tas ganun agad yung glasses, tas syempre medyo rowdy, ganyan. So pwedeng masira yung glasses. So kailangan yung sabihin sa parents yun. And then patients into sports, so usually ayaw nila ng nagka-glasses, gusto nila contact lenses or walang suot at all. No? And then syempre yun nga, as I told you a while ago, yung cost niya could be a limiting factor. And then also studies on myopia control glasses excluded patients with strabismus and amblyopia. No? So in myopic patients, especially for kids, sila usually yung myopic na XT, di ba? So we don't recommend myopia control glasses kasi pwedeng, since naka-XT sila, wala yung optical, yung clear central zone, no? Hindi sila nakatingin na sa central zone. So pangit vision nila, so baka mas mag-worsen yung control nila ng XT. But if we have patients na exophoria or patients na XT na may good control, actually maganda yung response nila sa amin. Kasi sasabi nila, kapag naka-myopia control glasses sila, tapos napansin nila na nagdi-drift yung other eye, magbablur siya ng konti, tapos malalaman niya kasi pumupunta siya sa defocus area. So mapufuse niya. So parang may mga ganun kaming patients. No? And also for amblyopia, just because you want them to have clear vision at all times, di ba? So once makontrol niyo yung amblyopia, and then pwede na kayo mag-prescribe ng myopia control glasses. So again, the recommendation is to wear your glasses at least 12 hours per day, max 5 to 6 times per week for optimal efficacy. So going to the contact lenses, so we have your two types, the soft contact lenses or yung daily na morning na contact lenses, and then yung overnight lenses, yung rigid na ortho-K lenses. No? Yung soft multifocal contact lenses, so this is your MiSight. So I think it's also available here. It has a center distance design. So just like your myopia control glasses, may center na correction zone and then may treatment zone din siya. So alternating siya na correction zone and treatment zone. So this is the MiSight study. So showing the 6-year studies, we're showing significant slowing of your axial length on kids versus control. Control meaning your single vision glasses and your normal daily disposable lenses. So your soft contact lenses, the advantages include cosmetic appeal of not wearing the glasses, especially for kids into performing arts or sports. So may mga kids kami, even 7 years old, na into ballet or like sobrang into sports like football, ganyan. So ayaw talaga nila mag-glasses. Gusto nila naka-contact lens sila. So sila yung actually magandang patients kasi highly motivated sila. And this is daily disposable. So less yung risk nila to develop microbial keratitis as compared yung mga rigid na contact lenses. But some of the disadvantages is still pwede pa rin magka-contact lens related complications. This is compliance dependent just like your glasses. And then this cannot correct your significant astigmatism kasi yung power ng contact lens is just for sphere. Wala siyang toric na na design, no? So if yung patient may -2 na astigmatism, -3, hindi maganda yung vision nila even with the contact lenses. And also the cost of the contact lenses. Next is your ortho-K. So ortho-K, so the patient wears a reverse geometry contact lens. So they wear this at night before sleeping. So at least 8 hours sila matutulog. And then in the morning, re-remove nila yung contact lens. So and the rest of the day, clear yung vision nila. And then just before matulog, susuot nila ulit yung contact lens. So yun yung ortho-K, no? So this can only correct up to -6 and 175 cylinder. So in patients na mas mataas yung myopia, -8, -9, hindi na sila pwede for ortho-K. So the hydraulic forces of the ortho-K lenses exerted to the cornea causes the central epithelium to parang mag-thin and then yung periphery mag-thicken, no? Yung relative peripheral hyperopia sa periphery, is the one that's causing the myopia control. So several studies have shown effectivity of your ortho-K in myopia control. So just note that whenever the patient is on ortho-K, we mostly rely on axial length na to monitor them kasi yung vision nila would be usually plano or may minus lang ng konti, no? So if patients na on ortho-K, we always monitor them axial length na lang. So potential complications is definitely yung microbial keratitis. Sometimes nagkakaroon ng pigmented ring formation kasi parang naka-indent kasi yung ortho-K sa cornea. So the risk of your microbial keratitis in patients wearing ortho-K is 13.9 per 10,000 years. So if like 10,000 patients wear ortho-K in 1 year, 14 can develop microbial keratitis. So parang ganun siya interpret. So just like your soft contact lenses, patients on ortho-K have daytime freedom from spectacles with high parent and patient satisfaction. No? So the youngest kid na meron kami sa myopia center, I think 6 years old, nag-start siya ng ortho-K. So kaya niya. Again, it's good for those into performing arts, those into sports, specifically swimming. So meron kaming national swimmer na patient na naka-ortho-K siya. Kasi bawal sila mag-soft contact lens. Yeah. So disadvantages again, contact lens related complications. So this is not ideal for all corneas. So may mga corneas na relatively flat. So for example, 40, 41 yung key values niya, di ba? So if -3 siya, so 40 -3, so magiging 37 na lang yung cornea niya. So usually until mga 38, okay pa. Pero kapag 37, 36, pwede nang pamangit yung quality of vision nila. So pag mga flat corneas with high myopia, hindi sila ideal candidate for ortho-K. And then difficult learning curve, especially if first time nila magsusot ng contact lens. So sometimes patients kami na on soft contact lens, once okay na sila doon, gusto nila mag-try mag-ortho-K, mas sila yung kaya nila as compared yung mga first time wearers. Kasi kailangan ng patients talaga how we counsel them on wearing and removing the contact lenses. Okay, so when do we offer contact lenses for myopia control? So if the child wants to be spectacle free, kids who are into sports or yung swimmers, yan, best for ortho-K. Active kids into sports, yan, yung mga football, yung mga contact sports, and those into performing arts, yung dancing, ballet, mga ganun. So this is not for children with significant astigmatism, flat corneas, eye allergies, poor hygiene. And again, your myopia control soft contact lenses and ortho-K can be an option in highly motivated families and children seeking spectacle independence. And then finally, yung controversial na repeated low-level red light therapy or RLRL has been approved in a few countries for myopia control. I think China, I think also in Japan, approved siya. I'm not sure sa Hong Kong if approved na siya. No? So yung brand niya is yung iRising. No? So ito yung itsura niya. So parang ganyan siya kalaki. So na-try ko na siya once. Parang sample lang daw. And then, Actually, the eye rising was made for amblyopia. And then nakita nila na nag-slow down siya na actual elongation. Kaya sabi na, okay, try natin for myopia, no? So this is controversial because yung laser, yung red light actually focuses on the fovea. So kaya yung ibang consultants or ibang myopia practitioners parang medyo iffy pa sila when it comes to red light therapy kasi wala pa masyadong long-term safety. I think yung only published lang is a 2-year parang systematic review if may mga reported na side effects. Aside from that, wala pa siyang long-term study talaga. So the child needs to have yung device, yung eye rising. So it's 3 minutes per session. So titingin siya doon sa eyepiece. Nakatingin siya doon 3 minutes. So twice daily, at least 4 hours interval, 5 days per week. So ganun siya. So very promising yung results niya actually. It slowed down actual elongation by 69, so almost 70% versus control. And what's yung interesting with the result of your red light therapy is nagkakos siya ng axial shortening, which is hindi nagagawa ng other myopia control options. So, especially for patients na unresponsive to all the options that I told you a while ago, if wala na talagang option, maybe yun yung time na, okay, let's try red light therapy. Kasi pwede siya. Side effect, temporary after image. Kasi imagine 3 minutes ka nakatingin sa red na dot. So ako, like yung pinatry sa amin is around 15 seconds lang. After nun, may after image na agad. No? So dun sa systematic review with 2 years yung longest follow-up, ang reported lang nila na possible complication is may patient na nagkaroon ng decline in visual acuity. Pero bumalik daw after 4 months of stopping the treatment. So kaya yung ibang consul sa Singapore, wala pa yung red light therapy kasi nga takot pa sila. So they want to wait for a few more years na the safety before siya i-recommend. So this is a systematic review of the different myopia control options. So I highlighted this, no? So yung purple is yung myopia control glasses, green is yung contact lenses, blue is yung atropine, and red is yung red light therapy, no? So as you can see, as yung image na to, the more the line leans to the left, mas okay yung myopia control. So as you can see, number 1, yung red light therapy. So siya yung best in controlling axial length elongation actually. Pero if takot tayo mag-red light therapy, yung next best actually is ortho-K. Pero if takot pa rin mag-ortho-K, kasi nga I think Filipinos in general medyo takot mag-contact lenses, no? If takot pa rin mag-ortho-K, next best is atropine 1%. Pero syempre, ayaw naman natin atropine 1%, di ba? Kasi near blur, photophobia. So next best is actually myopia control glasses na. So here, DIMS tsaka HALT yung mas mataas, and then DIMS. And then the different low dose concentration of atropine. Okay? So I'll just show you how we manage myopia sa Singapore. So for example, this is a patient, no? A 7-year-old male. They came to the myopia center because they're keen for myopia control, no? Yung parents niya is -2 2.5 diopter sphere, and then he has an older sister na -3 diopters. So whenever we see patients, we always look at the refraction. So here, yung circle is actually the right eye, triangle is yung left eye. So we look at the sphere and then yung axial length. So every visit, we check the axial length for these patients. No? So at the initial visit, so this is 7.5-year-old kid with -75 sa right, -1 sa left. No? So options, we tell them to have good eye habits. So we tell them, okay, meaning yung reading every half an hour, need to take breaks, go outside more, play outside at least 2 hours per day. And then we advise if they want to try myopia control interventions. We can try atropine eye drops. It could be 0.01 or 0.025. We can try myopia control glasses. We can try myopia control contact lenses or ortho-K. Or we can observe, especially if you don't know kung ano yung progression ng kid. Kasi pwedeng ito yung first time na nalaman nila na may myopia yung kid eh. No? So pwedeng observe if you want. And then see them again 6 months. So for this specific kid, they opted to start 0.01% na every night na eye drops. And then we see them after 6 months, no? So after 6 months, you notice nag-increase yung myopia niya by 0.5 diopters at both eyes, 0.75 on Other eye, the 0.5 on the other eye. Tapos yung axial length niya also increased from 23.55, 23.97, no? So usually for kids less than 9 years old, yung cutoff namin is 0.3 millimeters in 1 year. So for this kid, 0.4 in 6 months. So definitely rapid progressor siya. So kailangan nating escalate yung treatment pag ganun. So we tell them, before we escalate pala, we always ask, kamusta siya with putting the eye drops? Kamusta yung reading habits? If poor pa rin, we encourage them, try to have good eye habits as much as possible, try compliance with the eye drops. Pag yun, okay, and then we need to escalate the treatment. No? We can offer, increase the eye drops to twice a day, or we can increase the concentration to 0.025 every night, or we can combo with myopia control glasses or combination with your myopia control contact lenses. So ito medyo ayaw pa nila mag-try other options. Gusto nila eye drops pa rin. So we increase to 0.05, 0.025 every night. And then we see again after 6 months. After 6 months, yung refraction niya stable, no? So siguro mo 0.25 yung increase lang. So that's okay. 0.25 to 0.50 increase in 6 months is relatively okay. Pero yung axial length niya, as you will notice, from 2397, 24.31. So medyo nag-i-increase pa rin yung axial length niya. So kapag ganun, we still offer to escalate the treatment, no? Kasi hindi lang siya based sa refraction, no? So, we can increase the drops to twice per day, or yung moderate dose na 0.125 na 4 times per week, or combination with myopia control glasses, combo with myopia control contact lenses. So I think this time, they still opted to go for 0.125 moderate dose na, no? So, after 6 months, mas nag-increase pa siya lalo. So at this point, mapapaisip ka, baka non-responder na yung patient talaga sa atropine. Baka hindi enough yung atropine sa kanya. Kasi even we went to a moderate dose, nag-increase pa din. Nag-increase yung myopia niya, tapos nag-increase pa rin yung axial length niya. So, if you can try, gusto pa rin niya na eye drops, we can try every night eye drops. We can try combination with myopia control glasses and combo with your contact lenses. So at this point, they opted for combination with your Essilor and Stellest lenses or yung HALT lenses. Then we asked them to follow up after 4 months. As you can see, nag-stabilize siya. Almost no change sa axial length. And then yung refraction niya also very stable, wala increase. And then it's actually persisted until 11 years old na siya. Just with the combination ng 0.125 4 times per week and the myopia control classes. So as long as they're stable until ma-reach nila, we taper around 12 years old, we continue lang yung management. And then once 12 years old na sila, and then sa time we offer, if you want, we can try to taper the eye drops. Kasi less likely na sila mag-progress. Okay, so that's how we manage myopia in Singapore. Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. So thank you for listening. So this is Prof. Audrey Chia. So siya yung, siya yung sa Atom Studies in Singapore. Yeah. So si Nav, she will be under Prof. Audrey. Yeah. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, JV. Yeah, do we have any questions for JV?
I have a question.
Oh, I have to mute.
Echo yata. I have a question for you. Thank you, JV. Excellent lecture. I was telling Ruben just now, pwede ko ba ibigay na lang sa inyo yung optics na oral exams? Anyway, I just have a question. Yung ortho-K mo and contact lenses, until when mo binibigay yun? Until forever na yun? Ang ortho-K?
So, yeah, sometimes it-ask din po nung parents yan, no? So, depende po, kasi if the myopia control soft contact lenses, sir, so yung myopia control soft contact lenses, usually we recommend until hanggang 16 years old.
Okay.
Kasi after nun, it's less likely na nila kailangan ng myopia control. So they can just go to your normal na
Regular contact
daily
lens.
disposable contact
Yeah.
lenses. Yung Ortho-K, yung medyo difficult kasi ako pa, kahit ako parang medyo scared for them na long-term sila naka-ortho-K just because cornea yung first ko na fellowship. And then I'm doing refractive surgery then. So I know kapag kasi nag-ortho-K yung child, yung cornea will never be the same. No, I mean, ganun siya. So, nagkaka-changes na siya sa epithelium, yung mga ganun, no? So, if po, kasi usually, if yung child, like for example, swimmers, mga ganyan, gusto talaga nila, naka-ortho K sila. So, if ganun, pwede po nila i-continue until adulthood yung ortho K. Pero
Okay.
if yung patients, or yung parents, ayaw na, I mean, stable na yung patient, pwede natin i-offer na if you want, pwede na natin i-wean off siya from ortho K. Pwede pong ganun. Pero if they still want yung myopia correction, ibig sabihin they still want to see clearly with the ortho K, then pwede siya continue until adulthood. Mm.
Thank you. And another question, when it comes to time to, di ba, up the dose of the
Yes.
atropine, like, do you prefer doubling the frequency or doubling the dose na lang at night? Ano yung mas, practice nyo?
Yeah, actually po, we usually do it twice a day. So one in the morning and one at night, if increasing the frequency.
Okay.
But in Singapore po, I think kasi everyone is on a rush in the morning. So they will always tell us it's impossible in the morning to put the drops. And then the next time they'll see the kid is at night na.
Okay.
If ganun yung mangyayari, we just tell them, okay, if ganun, just put the drops twice at night, 5 minutes apart.
Okay. At twice at night, not
Twice at
stronger
night, yeah.
dose.
So parang twice a day pa rin po siya, pero 2 drops na siya at night. Parang ganun na
Pero
po siya.
hindi stronger dose. Hindi double
If
the
you want,
dose.
if pwede din po i-offer. So it's either twice a day or we can go to a slightly higher concentration. Yung some parents kasi, they still want to try yung lowest dose as much as possible before going to a higher concentration. Kasi takot po sila sa side effects. Yeah.
Right. And yung yung red light therapy, how long do they need to use it?
Yes, sir.
Stabilization.
Until mag-stabilize din sila, sir. So around, the stabilization is around 12 to 15 years old po.
Do you have any idea how much it is? Kasi di ba, you have to bring it home, you have to
Yeah, actually
take it
wala pa po
to
sir idea
provider.
how much. Pero for sure, a bit pricey siya kasi medyo bago lang siya.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dr. Mary.
Yes. Thank you, Doc JV. Welcome home. My question is, how do you actually identify pre-myopes and how do you explain
Apa.
their options?
So, pre-myopia po yan, actually, they define this as plus 50 to minus 50. If yung spherical equivalent nila is plus 50 to minus 50, they're considered pre-myopes na. So, usually very difficult to identify them kasi wala silang problem with vision, di ba? Kasi usually sa myopia center, we will get referrals na those who failed the vision screening sa school. So, pangit yung vision nila. So, usually yung pre-myopes is if like may kapatid na myopic, tapos gusto nila, okay, pa-check na natin siya, might as well. Saka lang po nakakarating sa amin to. Pero very difficult na like biglang pupunta sila. I mean, kasi wala silang concerns talaga. I mean, okay yung vision nila, ganun. Yeah. And then we tell them na we have options, we have studies available na it's proven na if you start them on atropine or myopia control glasses as early as now, pwedeng ma-prevent or ma-delay yung onset na myopia.
Dr. Remitzi has a question. Dr. Remitzi.
Hi, Dr. JV. Thank you for a very interesting lecture. One question, no? What is the earliest or what is the latest age wherein you can be able to start, where you will be able to start atropine eye drops?
Apo.
What is your cutoff age?
Yeah. So, pag ganun po, doktora, so, if like, for example, 12 years old, 13 years old, tapos first time nila pupunta sa inyo for consult whether myopia is progressing or not, you can always ask them, kamusta yung refraction nila the previous year, if it increased or not. Kasi if medyo hindi naman na siya nag-increase for the past year, and then maybe pwedeng observe na lang muna siya for the next 6 months if mapoprogress or not. But if they tell you na maybe 12, 13 years old, the past year, nag-increase pa rin yung myopia, and then you can offer pa rin po until we reach yung stability. So maybe shorter lang sila on atropine, maybe until 14 years old lang, and then you can start tapering na. In some kids po, like 10% of the kids we see sa myopia center, they still progress throughout the teenage years. So until 18 years old, nagpo-progress pa rin sila. So we really just want to see po if like they are progressing. So maganda even na mino-monitor sila every 6 months.
Another question. During the growth spurt, of the
Mm.
child, lalo na later teenage. Some of them will have a more a drastic change
Yes,
in
Doc. Yes,
their
Doc. We see that a lot
refraction,
din po.
no?
Apa.
Kasama sa growth spurt.
Yes.
So for these children, well, they're going to be teenagers na. So what do you suggest for this age group na bigla na lang na growth spurt tas tumaas
Yes.
yung grado?
Apa. So yes, Doc, yung ano, no, if we tell them po na if the patient has growth spurt, that one we cannot control with the myopia control. With the atropine, with the myopia control glasses, hindi nyo makokontrol po yung growth spurt. So yun yung sinasabi namin. Kasi even like 10, 11 years old, something, nag-increase na agad yung height nila, mga ganun. So, nanonotice namin yung axle length tumataas. Pero yung refraction nila relatively stable or medyo may increase din. So, we always ask them kapag may significant increase ng axle length or ng refraction, if napansin ng parents, nagka-growth spurt ba for the previous year. Kasi pwedeng ma-attribute doon yung myopia progression niya, no? So in older po, actually sa myopia center sa amin po, we discharge them as 15, 16 years old. So we just tell them after 15, 16, less likely na magpo-progress yung myopia nila. No? Then we just ask them yearly follow-up with the optometrist na po.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, in patients na may long-term ortho-K,
Mm.
do you find them that affects their eligibility for laser refractive surgery?
Yeah, yun yung magiging problem. If gusto niya mag-refractive surgery sa future. Kasi every decade na naka-myopia control glasses, especially for myopia for kids, no? Kasi start as less than 10, naka-ortho-K na sila. So matagal yung kailangan mo sila off the ortho-K before mo siya ma-screen. And yung vision with ortho-K is if sa morning clear yung vision nila, di ba? So as the day progresses, nagba-bounce back na yung cornea. So very unpredictable yung refractive error nila. Yeah. So kaya ako parang practice ko sa future is baka as kids lang, after 12, 15, stop na sila. Pag-control na yung myopia. And then just go if they want soft contact lenses na lang.
When do you start?
Hi, JV. Dr. Vanson here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just want to ask, yung ortho-K, I have my reservations with ortho-K, but what's the earliest age of a child that you have put ortho-K?
We have, sir, nag-try na kami, sir, sa 6-year-old, sir.
Na-tolerate? Mother,
Yes, sir.
nag-ortho kayo?
I mean, mga tiger moms kasi, sir, sa Singapore. So, if kasi sir, we specific they told me, sir, nang start ng fellowship ko, parang Chinese in general, parang gusto nila, I mean, ayaw nila naka-glasses. So, may mga patients po kami na dadating sa myopia center na ang first choice nila is ortho-K agad.
Mga Singaporean parents are more motivated, but here in the Philippines,
Yun nga, sir.
you get the negative vibes from the parents if sila pa magkakabit and the problems of kaya minsan ay kung mga never mind maybe 12, 13, 14-year-old
Yes, sir.
kids okay lang yan.
Yes, sir.
My problem is in the younger children. So
Yes, sir.
maybe pharmacologic would be or the
Better option for
and the glasses ang options nila at that younger age.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Well, thank you for the lecture. Very good updates.
Thanks, sir.
Steven?
Doc, when do you start considering the refractive options?
So yung refractive option depends sa country siya. So sa atin sa Philippines, as early as 18 years old, pwede siya mag-refractive screening. So as long as stable siya. So yun.
3 times.
Yes.
Every 6 months.
Apa.
JV, for baseline examination of these children, what tests are included? Do you monitor them ng biometry, A-scan?
Okay.
Do you do serial photographs just to monitor if may changes sa retina?
So yung basic na examination would include, so depending sa, usually cycloplegic exam on the first visit, unless may recent sila na cycloplegic exam from another Singapore kasi may children's hospital. In children's hospital will refer yung myopic patients nila to us sa myopia center. So usually sila nagsa-cycloplegic refraction na sila. Pero if walang recent na cycloplegic refraction, initial visit cycloplegic refraction, And then we do yung biometry. So we use yung IOL Master. Yeah. And then depending on the findings, if may needed tayo na extra diagnostics, like for example, yung mga large na disc na patients, so pwede ka mag-baseline na OCT na ONH, or if like may mga lattice, ganyan, pwedeng wide field photo to document lang. Pero usually, ano lang, biometry lang with the K values. Kasi sometimes pwede baka keratoconus, early keratoconus, but at least nakikita yung if nag-change yung astigmatism or yung K values nila. Tapos, what else? Yeah, if considering keratoconus, we also have pentacam.
Do we have any other questions for JV? If none, JV, thank you very much. Alam ko, hinata kita sa St. Luke's. Pero, thank you for gracing us. And then hopefully, after your fellowship, mahata ka ulit namin for refractive lecture naman. Doc Sherman?
Thank you very much. Thank you, JV, for this lecture. No, I think very high yield siya for not just for the residents but for the consultants. No, childhood myopia is really a big thing right now, and I'm happy that there are people like you already who will be specializing on this. So hopefully in the future we can invite you to be part of the Makati Med consultant staff. No, we will need your expertise. Anyway, very good news for everyone. No, officially, we have been reaccredited already. No, the decision came out the other night. No, so congratulations to the whole department. No, for all your hard work, and of course, congratulations to our training officer Ren, for ensuring that we not only pass accreditation, no, but we also got very high grades. No, so thank you.